The Jaguar D-Type is one of the most iconic racing cars ever produced, and a particularly special example of this legend is making its way to auction in early March. With a price tag that could range between $6.5 million and $8.5 million, the 1954 Jaguar D-Type, known as OKV2, could become one of the most expensive models of its kind to be sold at a public auction. This specific D-Type isn't just any classic, it's a car with a rich and storied history that includes famous drivers, including the legendary Sir Stirling Moss. Built as one of the first three examples, the Jaguar D-Type was initially brought to the 1954 24 Hours of Le Mans as a backup car. However, it wasn't long before the car had a chance to prove itself in the thick of the action. OKV2 was driven by Sir Stirling Moss and Peter Walker, two of the most renowned drivers of the time. The pair set the fastest time in practice, showing promise for the race. The car even led parts of the grueling 24-hour endurance race, but unfortunately, it had to retire due to brake issues. Despite this early setback, the car's journey didn't end there. In 1954, the D-Type went on to compete at the 12 Hours of Reims with Moss and Walker at the wheel again, though it failed to finish once more. The car continued to race throughout that year, proving its mettle in several other competitions. Its racing career was far from over as it continued to participate in various events across 1955, including notable races such as the Grande Prix de Portugal, Aintree, Goodwood, and Alton Park. This particular D-Type was also entered in several races in 1956, 1957, and 1958, making it one of the most heavily raced and tested Jaguars from that era. In fact, this car may have the richest racing pedigree of any Jaguar from its time. After its successful racing years, the D-Type was sold and continued its competition history under the ownership of Jaguar's PR manager. However, in 1960, the car was sold again, this time to Jim Cato. It met a tragic end during the Players 200 event at Mosport Park when it was crashed by British driver Alastair Cameron-Smith, who tragically lost his life after the car rolled. The car sat dormant for 15 years with extensive damage. It wasn't until the late 1970s that restoration efforts began, eventually bringing the car back to life. In the 1990s, this remarkable D-Type was driven in several classic racing events, including the Goodwood Revival. In 2010, the car found a new home with a U.S. collector who has maintained and cared for it ever since. Now, decades after its final race, the 1954 Jaguar D-Type is ready for a new chapter and could fetch an incredible price at auction. While this specific model won't reach the staggering price of the 1,956 Sierra Leone and Leone's Mans winning D-Type, which sold for a record-breaking $21.78 million in 2016, it remains an incredibly special car. Its history and connection to Sir Stirling Moss, as well as its enduring appeal among collectors and racing enthusiasts, make it a rare and valuable piece of automotive history. Whether you're an avid collector, a racing fan, or someone simply enamored by the beauty and legacy of classic cars, the 1954 Jaguar D-Type offers a piece of racing history that few can rival. If it sells for its expected price range, it will undoubtedly stand as one of the most expensive and coveted D-Types ever to change hands. Keep an eye out for this remarkable vehicle when it hits the auction block in March.